And a very pleasant good afternoon. Gabe Farias and Dr. Daniel H. Kellum Jr. from Kellum Family Medicine and all of the subsidiaries of Kellum, which includes Kellum Family Medicine, Kellum OBGYN of San Antonio, Kellum Aesthetics and Wellness,
All right.
Kellum Bodybuilding. I'm joking on the third one. There's no Kellum Bodybuilding. But Dr. Kellum, let's start with the KellumMD.com video podcast with we're getting close. We're growing. There's no Kellum Bodybuilding, but there's about to be a really nice new clinic out off of Braun and 1604 right around the corner.
We're excited, Gabe. We're starting to finish the inside construction and hopefully April, May-ish timeframe. God willing.
Ribbon cutting action,
I'm excited
maybe?
about that. So it's going to be nice to be able to service the area in that part of San Antonio.
Yeah.
We have not had a presence out there. Busy for sure.
Growing like crazy.
It's really nice. We've built a very nice location there, I think, right next to an LA Fitness, so we can take care of people's needs, and certainly they can take care of theirs by exercising. But hopefully we'll be able to provide good care to the community.
Absolutely.
And be a part of the community out there. We look forward to that.
And of course, KellumMD.com. Visit that website. Look for updates. Look for our Facebook page and all of our social media so you can kind of keep an update as to. We took some really nice pictures out there and had a really nice post of what the clinic is going to look out. Look at our Facebook page for that Kellum Facebook page. But Dr. Kellum, one of the reasons that I want to talk with you right now, as you can tell, I'm a little sluggish today. Normally I'm like on my game 100% of the time. Today,
Off.
I don't think I got great sleep. And I want to talk about the importance of, as simplistically put, getting a good night's sleep. How important is it, Dr. Kellum?
Obviously, Gabe. And actually, we joke about that, but it is a very important point.
Sure,
Things that I think a lot of people overlook: sleep and having good 8 hours of sleep. And when we say that traditionally, some people sleep well at 6 hours. Some people sleep a little bit longer. But having whatever that good night's sleep for you is really very important, because that's when the body de-stresses, that's when the body restores, that's when the body refreshes, and that's what allows us to wake up and have a much better day. And it really keeps our body functioning in the way that we need to. When we get sleep deprived, it really does set off a number of dominoes that are not good for people. And so, just grinding through one day after the next can really have its effect on people.
So I'm about to infringe on my partner, Zach Dixon, and what he does in the myth buster realm. Zach, are you okay with me asking a myth on this particular forum?
You made this one time. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Is it a myth that you need 8 hours sleep? I mean, is it 8 hours? Is it 5 hours? What's the magic number?
Don't know for everybody, but it's going to be 6 to 8. Some people sleep 6 hours and they wake up, they feel good, they're doing well, they're well rested. And so I think there's a little variation with everybody. If everybody tries to shoot for that 8-hour period, I think it would be good. Certainly kids, babies, young kids need more sleep than that, because their bodies are growing really fast and changing. And so I think that you see kids requiring a little bit more, whether it be with a nap or longer periods of time. Teenagers, for all of you out there that have had them, they sleep till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So they always seem to require a little more sleep as well. But as adults, I think the 8-hour mark is good, but that may vary plus minus an hour or so for people.
Funny story for you right quick.
Yeah.
Xavier, my son, had a physical. I'm only going to tell you a part of some of the questions that they asked. One of them was, young man, do you drink alcohol? He said, absolutely not. Then they asked him, have you taken drugs? Then he looks at Katie and I and he says, well, I take a CBD gummy every night with melatonin. And it was just kind of, I was like, nerd. I kind of screamed that from the corner of the, but a melatonin, and the whole point of that story is, I don't think that's a terrible supplement to take at night to help get rest.
No, I think it's a really good thing to do. And honestly, we use that first line for a lot. I encourage people to try that before we get into any other thing. So using something like melatonin, I think, is good. Anywhere from 5 to up to 30 milligrams in some cases can really make a difference with that. But one point I will tell you about sleep, and it's really important, just because you're laying down and you feel like you've slept all night, getting quality sleep is is really the most important thing. And people hear about sleep apnea all the time, but I don't think enough people really address that particular issue. And typically, it's wives or partners, whoever it is hitting you in the ribs and telling you snore at night. But I would heed that because I think it's really important to get checked. There's a lot of ways that we can do simple, easy home sleep studies that are not inconvenient, but are certainly helpful, because making sure that we take care of that really mitigates heart risk issues, diabetes type issues. But really, there's some evidence that it really affects people long term in terms of dementia and thought processes and cognitive abilities and all of those types of things. So not only is it important to get your sleep, but making sure quality sleep is what we're getting is really where we get the restorative component of that.
Yeah, I want to touch quickly on the sleep study thing, because when I got my sleep study about a decade and a half ago, it was like they wired me up and stuck me in a place like I was going to the freaking moon in a capsule. It's not like that. It's not that complex. Some of them are, but there are other alternative sleep apnea tests that you can take.
There are. So some of those are necessary for people that have really severe issues. But for most of us as a screening, there's actually a tool out there that's a watch that has a component, don't mind me just showing, a watch that has a probe to the finger, a probe that runs here. And it downloads to your phone, an app on your phone, which then in turn downloads to the sleep lab. And then the equipment is disposable. So in the past where we had to go lug it in, take it home, lug it back, I mean, those days are over. The technology for things are so good and do a great job. And then you could look at the components of things that you may need to make it better, whether it's weight reduction, which is always the thing that we look at first, whether there's dental appliances that are available that help move the jaw forward that make a difference with that, whether it's a traditional CPAP machine that everybody probably knows about, which may or may not be comfortable to use. And then there's an Inspire device, which is an implantable device that helps stimulate a nerve that kind of moves your tongue forward, that really does allow people to do well without the hindrance of a CPAP and really get the quality sleep that we need. And that's where I think people should really, as a part of their yearly physical, because we think that's an important part of it, should be a conversation about how you're doing with sleep. And if your husbands or your wives or whoever that is telling you that you're struggling at night, take heed, because you're not going to be the one that notices it. It's really the others, unless you're falling asleep at the wheel, or if you're falling asleep at
that's
work,
a problem.
that kind of stuff. And so there's a huge safety component to it. There's a huge preventative care component of it. There's a huge quality of life component. And so, sleep, although we sometimes take it for granted, is really a huge therapeutic benefit, in my opinion, for people to live healthy, productive lives.
So right now, people are going to watch this and say, well, man, this is something that I think I suffer from. My wife tells me I snore like a bear at night. Is this something that they can come in and see you about?
Absolutely. If you come in to see us at Kellum Family Medicine or see your CP, talk to them about that. And there's easy things that they can set up relatively quickly and generally covered under insurances, although if not, the costs are not terrible when you look at stuff. So maybe less than a couple $100. You can get this sleep study done, get an evaluation, and then once you have the information, then you could determine which path is most convenient and practical for you, because that changes with every individual as well. But there's tons of options out there available for individuals. But most importantly, and this is applicable to everyone, is to really work on diet and exercise, because weight loss associated with individuals really does help. No matter what other tool you employ, that's really where you have to start with.
Dr. Kellum, the importance of sleep really cannot be overstated. I mean, you really have to deal with these types of problems, because again, for me, I go to bed at midnight. I wake up around 6:30 or 7. Anything less than that, and I just feel terrible throughout the day. 6-7 hours is kind of that magic number for me. But like you say, it kind of varies for different people.
It sure does. But making sure that you get your sleep, get your quality sleep, and then live a life that really promotes overall health with diet and exercise, that's really the basis for any plan of care that works on making sure your health is more preventable in terms of disease process.
Well, Dr. Kellum, another great, successful KellumMD.com video podcast. Remember, visit KellumMD.com to learn more about Kellum Family Medicine, all of its subsidiaries. Dr. Kellum, I got to give you a compliment. Did you put some kind of new scalp balm on your head? It looks exceptional today. Your scalp looks tremendous.
So does
Like
yours.
very,
much
very,
shinier than
very
usual.
Yul Brenner.
Usually
You know what I'm
it's-
saying?
you
Very
have a-
Telly Savalas.
Very much a dusting of hair, but today
It's more of a whisper of
It's
hair
not
than a
even
dusting.
that, but-
It's not even a whisper.
No.
It's not a hint. It's not a shout. It's a
it's a
whisper.
remnant of hair.
I know. Anyways. All right, Dr. Kellum. Again, thank you so very much, man. Appreciate
Okay.
everything.
Thanks.
Folks, remember, visit KellumMD.com. Learn all about Kellum Family Medicine. For Dr. Daniel H. Kellum, I'm Gabe Farias, folks. Stay healthy.